Sofyan Amrabat decision to be made next week. Scott Mctominay to Galatasaray, and obviously Declan Rice has come out and obviously spoken a lot about Mainoo. Remember, for the previous 3 games of England, these two have gone ahead to start together in that central midfield, and all has been okay with England. Welcome to the United Matters channel. How are you guys and where are you watching us from? It's a Sunday and hope you guys are really having fun wherever you are. We've come in a little bit late because I know to eat that Sunday is always a little bit to recharge and obviously get ready for the week and see how everything really pans on. So we thank God for the gift of life, the Muslims. Barakallahu fikum. Let's see close to 200 likes marking this video and continue to subscribe because we want to hit 20,000 subscribers, right? We are left with 100 subscribers to hit 18,000 subscribers. So guys, please go into the lower right bottom corner, smash the black button, and after smashing it, hit the notification bell that will enable you get notified every time I upload a video onto this beautiful channel of ours. And we are here to bring you the latest news and information as far as Man United is really concerned. Remember, this channel does strictly Manchester United and doesn't do anything else. We strictly do Manchester United news only into the mix. Now, let's kickstart it off with Fabrizio Romano, obviously coming up with a very huge update about Sofyan Amrabat. Understand Man United are planning to make decision on Sofyan Amrabat next week. They still have the option to buy Amrabat available, but internal decision will be made soon next week. Amrabat planning to leave Fiorentina and waiting for Man United. Now, why is Amrabat very important? You know, Amrabat is very important because in the last 4 games that we played towards the end of last season, if I'm to name them, one against Arsenal, the other one against Newcastle, the other one against Brighton, and the other one against Man City, he was really pivotal into that system of Erik ten Hag alongside Mainoo. And if I told you not to eat that, you want us to start our United season on a high, we need to obviously be having Amrabat into that team, because all of the players we are looking at to bring them in as CDMs might not even be part of the preseason. For example, Yao Neves, if United is to sign him though the deal is off, he'll return in the first week of August. Ugarte, that United are running up to and speeding up everything, just played yesterday in the Copa America, and that was the 3rd round playoff, meaning that he has to rest for 3 weeks, and that means the player will return around the 4th or 5th of August, when you're left with like 5 days to play against Man City. Now, what is the best thing to do? Because United needs 2 CDMs, you know, the best thing to do is to make a decision to get in Amrabat as soon as possible. All else, if you're not going to be signing Amrabat, we should be looking at a different central midfielder altogether who is really going to be with United in the preseason and was known at the Euros or the Copa America to obviously integrate into that team. But you worry a little bit on how our season will really commence, because England is playing the final today and Mainoo is going to be playing. If Mainoo is to rest for 3 weeks, those are 21 days. And when you look at July, it's left with 17 days. Add on the 4, that means he returns to train with Man United in the 4th, meaning that he won't even have time to play a friendly game that will be playing in America. I think that will be the last game he'll be playing in America, to obviously find himself, get the chemistry of that new CDM that Man United would have gone here to bring in. So what is the best thing to do? For me, the best thing to do is simple. Manchester United should get in Amrabat. We should bring back Amrabat and really sign him. 20 million pounds, that is an absolute steal. He's a player you bring in now, you know, and if at all you feel like you want to offload him next summer, you can get like 40 million pounds, because we know if he keeps his levels that he was playing at in the final 4 games of the season, then Amrabat is really going to be a hot cake into the coming future. And if you are Manchester United and you heard what Amrabat said after the games he played, he said that he had just gone ahead to play, I think, limited minutes, and I think that was the first 90 minutes he played against Arsenal in a very long period of time for Sofyan Amrabat. So if he really gets a very good preseason with the club of Manchester United in America, I think he will obviously get what we call onto what we call a very huge head, a very good season starter. That is Sofyan Amrabat for you. And I love the player, and I believe we should obviously get these negotiations done and done. And I think internally, if you're Manchester United, with the strained budget that you're having, obviously, Amrabat is the guy to get. That is it. He's the guy to get. Because even if you are to move on Casemiro and get in Ugarte, there will be a void of another CDM to obviously come through and compete with Ugarte, right? All you have to do is simple. Get in Sofyan Amrabat, sell Casemiro, get in Ugarte, such that Ugarte will compete with the guy called Amrabat. And sometimes, whatever you feel like you want to rest Kobe Mainoo in certain games, you can obviously get these two into the midfield. Amrabat to play as the CDM and Manuel Ugarte to play as a box-to-box midfielder, because he can play literally in all the three positions of the midfield very, very well. So that's why I'm really pleading for this guy to be kept at the club of Manchester United. But the decision is not up to me. My role is to come in here and really give you my insight onto that, and then the decision making remains for the board. But looks like Erik ten Hag wants to keep the player, and I tell you, if there was no interest for Manchester United to keep this player would have already gone ahead to be told to obviously find his future elsewhere, and very many teams are interested in him in the Premier League, the Serie A, La Liga, Saudi Pro League, and very many others. But that the reason as to why Man United is interested in the guy, it's because the player is not really moving any other. That is Man United for you. So that is Sofyan Amrabat for you, and is doing a very huge role into his preseason. I know he's already training. He was in Tanzania, pictured there with his brother and other African players. But I tell you what, he's yet to obviously sign for the club of Manchester United. The decision is going to be made next week, because Man United wants to go to America with a CDM into that team. And the only CDM that is there that we can get on a cheap is that guy. And for anyone who comes out and obviously says he's not the guy, he'll be the reason as to why you're going to be losing to Man City into the Community Shield. You know that's going to be played on the 10th, because all the midfielders we're being linked to cannot really make it to play into that game, because they wouldn't have gone ahead to train with the club for some time. So eagerly waiting for the decision of Amrabat, but it's imminent, and United will try to trigger that clause that was into the contract. So we wait and see how that pans out. Now, after that, there are people that are in Manchester to negotiate a deal of Scott McTominay. Scott McTominay could leave Man United with interest from Galatasaray. A member of a Galatasaray party is in Manchester to discuss the deal. Now, the moment United has gone ahead to give audience to a person coming in through from Galatasaray, it's a confirmation that Man United is really ready to sell a player. That is it. That is it, because there is no reason as to why you should go in talks with a club for a player that everything. There is no reason as to why you go ahead to obviously tell a player, or really attract what we call a dialogue for a player you want to keep. It's like you just tell them, all right, this player is not for sale, but the fact is Scott McTominay is one of those players that United are really considering up for sale. And I know what is going to accelerate this. It's all about Jadon Sancho returning to Manchester United. If United fail to obviously move on Jadon Sancho, then the amount of money they expected to get as a pure profit should come in through from Scott McTominay, another homegrown player that is needed by even Premier League teams. Teams like West Ham want to offer £40 million for the player called Scott McTominay, and if I'm Man United, I move him on and really get in another player. And I think this is why Man United is looking at players like Xavi Hernandez, because they're looking at another central midfielder, meaning that we might see 3 central midfielders move in: Ugarte, Amrabat, and Xavi Simons, because there is there is a chance for Scott McTominay to obviously be sold by the club of Manchester United, and that is what you're really waiting in for here onto the channel known as United Matters channel. But for me, Scott McTominay is one of those players I should offload. However much he went ahead to outscore himself ever since he came through and played for Manchester United the previous season, saved us on several occasions, but I don't really give those players who are really just basic players into the team of Manchester United. When you look at Man City, they cannot really accommodate a player like Scott McTominay. Ten Hag is going to hate to do it to improve him, but I tell you, we need something better. We need something better into that position, and with Mason Mount available, Man United will plan to obviously move on that player. So we wait for the response from the side of from the side of Manchester United and Galatasaray on whether it's really gonna be made green lighted. But I believe teams in the Premier League interested in this guy will obviously show interest, and they'll be like, all right, let us get him on. Lastly, as the final is on today, England versus the side of Spain, the double pivot of England is going to be comprised of Declan Rice and Mainoo, right? So Rice, the counterpart of Mainoo, has come out and really said the following onto Mainoo. He said he's so good. People were questioning whether he was ready to play. I think you can see as this tournament has gone on, this boy can be trusted in any position. Whether you want to play him as a 6 or 8, his knowledge of the game. So he's like, this guy can come in and obviously cover up everything and really put in a very huge shift. That is Declan Rice for you. But I think he complements Declan Rice very well. And I was very irritated with the manager of England at the beginning of the Euros when he really brought in Trent Alexander-Arnold to be played in the midfield alongside Declan Rice. Something that I really saw that it was really naive, and it showed how short-sighted this manager was, and his knowledge of the game was really shortened, because you can't tell me that a person who plays for Manchester United in the midfield can be benched for a right back who plays for Liverpool in the Premier League to come in and play in the midfield. You get? I think that something got wrong. He really got it wrong, and it backfired. And it showed you that in the most important games of England, Mainoo was going to hit to show importance to start into that midfield. And remember, this manager, Southgate, came out and said that they're missing Calvin Phillips. And I was like, who says that? Who says that they're missing Calvin Phillips? Because you can't miss Calvin Phillips at this juncture when you're really having a player who is really a million times better than Calvin Phillips. Because what Mainoo is doing, Calvin Phillips hasn't gone ahead to do it in his career. Calvin Phillips, when he was taken to Man City, he failed to obviously rise to the levels of Pep Guardiola, yet he was 25, 26 years of age. You know, Mainoo at Man United from the academy, ushered into the team of Manchester United, he has gone ahead to become one of the most reliable central midfielders in the world. And I would like to communicate to everyone that the reason as to why the likes of the Yamals are really getting this is because they are forwards, and I think they would have gone ahead to start this season at Barcelona earlier than Mainoo. But if Mainoo starts this season with Man United as expected and keeps himself fit, he'll be one of those players that will come in through and really look really important, and his rating is really gonna be very high. So wait and see how that pans out, and your predictions for England versus Spain are welcome in the comment section below. Obviously, we all know that Spain are favorites, but you can't rule out England on how they can come in through and put in a shocker on the day. May the living to God bless you abundantly. Rokan David is my name. Don't forget to subscribe so as not miss out on stories that we do upload in here on a daily. And it's a Sunday. Go to church. Say a prayer. Those that pray from home like me, you guys are really good and important. We love you, and that is it. We say bye-bye and continue to subscribe because we want to hit 20,000 subscribers onto this video. Hope you guys have enjoyed this video. I want to see your reactions into the comment section below. I can't wait. Bye bye.